Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I have a review of the Guardian Dragon, which retails for $149.99, and it's a really cool set and a part of the new sub-theme called Ninjago Legends. So let's get into it. So because this set is so massive, we're going to start all the way at the bottom and then work our way up. So starting down at the bottom, we've got this small sort of pond, lake-ish area, which is all around. You can see how it comes up. There's like waterfalls coming all throughout the build at different points to slowly lead into this main section, and then the main waterfall up here. There's also lanterns all around, which are very flimsy, so that's just something to be careful of after you've built it and you're trying to move it around. You need to try and grab it from below instead of from like up here, and try to avoid touching these in the first place. So right there, dead center, we have the reveal blade, the brand new gimmick weapon for the wave. However, for the legend sets, they appear in just gunmetal gray instead of the trans red, which makes them not used for what they should be used for. However, it still looks really nice, and I don't think it's actually canon to the main series. Coming up to the right here, we've got a Torii gate with some words on the side, which I have not translated, so sorry about that. And then a fire symbol up there, which ties into this side thing. We have a little shrine to a previous Master of Fire, I believe. That is because it's mentioned there was a previous one with the mech, and we sort of saw it in the trailer for this new series. And then also that right there is got a little fire symbol above him, and he looks like some sort of old master of the element. The only other thing around this bottom section is there's these little branches all throughout, and then little petals. Those come from this bigger tree up here, where it's got this main sort of stem. It's got some little lanterns hanging off of it, different colored leaves all throughout to give it like an autumn or fall type feel. Yeah, it looks really nice. And then this branch right here is where the tail of the dragon sits on, but we'll move that off to the side so we can go look at it later. And there goes another lantern. So coming up to the legs of the dragon, they are stuck on using Technic. You can lift up the feet a bit and you can see how they're sort of stuck on in there, which it's nice. It keeps it stable, even though it does still wobble a lot. However, it hasn't done anything too bad in the few days I've had it. It just means you can't detach the dragon and use the dragon as its own thing because it is stuck in this pose completely. So coming up the legs, you've got bright green, regular green, and then a bit of dark green on the sides. So that's to show off, obviously the center is the brighter green, the outer sides goes into the darker green, and then we've got the dark green there, which goes into the back design. Coming up, you've got little bits of gold plating around, and then the tan inside, obviously. The other thing I should mention is this leg is more forward and straight, whilst this one is completely bent off to the side. So coming up to the sort of hip area, this is where you've got the attachment for the main body, which is on this funky looking angle. It's like almost a 45-degree angle, I think. I don't know, I think it is, but I'm not 100% sure. But it goes off to the left, back up to the middle, and then off to the right, which then leads us to the main torso, which has this sort of like core piece type looking thing. Coming up to the arms, they're identical on either side, I believe. And they just sort of, they've got like full motion back here. So you can move the hand, move the upper arm and the forearm. I don't actually know the arm names. Off to the side, you've got these two pieces which can be moved, however, they really shouldn't. And then obviously you can move it up here at the shoulder And then you got this shoulder piece, which will move as you move it. And that gets covered up by this mech finger type piece. What's used for most mech fingers. But those hold off the shoulders to keep them in place when it's posed, and then you sort of just leave the arms off to the side because you've got nowhere to really pose them. Coming up to the neck and head, you can see more of that design. It can move side to side slightly. This upper bit can move up and down, and then the actual head itself has that more full range of motion. However, I wouldn't do it as there's one piece which is a bit flimsy, is all. Everything's a tiny bit flimsy with this build, I will say. Just because it's meant for display and obviously not play. But you come up to the head, you've got the two big horns, the two smaller horns, and then the actual crown itself with a little bit of fire in the center. And then coming up to the face, you've got the new dragon head mold, which I'm mixed on. I think it looks nicest, it looks nicest with this dragon just because the mouth of the dragon down here feels more complete on the inside than some of the other dragons. However, it still looks very out of place connected to a brick built mouth. I just don't like it too much. Anyways, coming back down to the wings, they've got this nice detailing on the inside on both of them. And then on the back side, they're just the pure green because this is the backside of the model, you shouldn't really be seeing it. However, that hasn't stopped it from being fully detailed here as well. So coming down the neck and all the way down to the end of the tail, you've got dark green all throughout, which is very nice looking. And then spikes going all throughout. You've got some of the smaller ones, you've got some of the bigger spikes. But yeah, that looks very nice. And then coming down to the tail, this bit can't be moved at all, it's fixed in place, but starting here you've got full range of the tail, so you can fling it up, but it doesn't really hold because it's not made, it's like very heavy, which is the point of this branch, because you swing it around here and it holds the tail up without having to, without the weight bringing it down because it's being held up by that. And there goes another lantern. But yeah, it's a genuinely beautiful build, a very tall one, because I can barely capture it in one shot unless I go all the way out here. But yeah, let's move on to the single figure of the set. So here is Master Wu. He looks very nice. Don't think he's canon at all, but they had to chuck in a figure somehow, and we haven't gotten a Wu figure in a while. He follows the same theming as the other ninja in terms of design. He's got the new armor piece, and then the torso continues using that dark red, the bit of tan, and the tassel for the letter W. He gets his staff and then two swords, and yeah, it's a nice Wu design. He fits in with the other ninja for the first time ever, and it's just a nice little inclusion to this set because they could have sold it without a figure, but people would have rioted. And I don't really know what else they could have added, as we don't know the characters for Ninjago Legends at all yet. But yeah. So the set itself also does come with a poster. It's a very nice poster. I've got both of mine hung up right now. I kind of forgot to get a recording of them before the review. But it looks very nice. It's got Wu, it's got the dragon in like a more organic sense, and then that's like sort of the mountain where it's perched in the set. Yeah, it's a very cool poster. So yeah, that was the Guardian Dragon, one of my favorite sets of the wave. Not my favorite Legend set, just because it's very hard to pose it and it's a bit flimsy, which I think I already talked about, and a lot of pieces are falling off as I'm trying to show it off, but it's still a very nice set. Great for just display. It hasn't had any of these problems until I just showed it off now, which obviously I'm showing off moving it around and stuff, which is not what it's meant to do. But thank you all for watching. I'm so happy I was able to get these sets early and be able to put out reviews for you guys. So let me know what you guys want to see next. I have almost every set minus the 4+ set and the poly bag. That's because both of those I don't care for, and the polybag's not being sold just yet. I do actually really want that one though, so I'll get that as soon as I can. But thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.